Doing Your Part Against Invasive Species by me, Abigail Whitfield, for Bio 112, Introduction to Biology, Fall of 2025. What is an invasive species? An invasive species is a type of organism that is taken from its original location to a new location, and it is harmful to all of the organisms, the economy, and the ecosystem that it is moved to. It can be a disease, a parasite, a plant, or even an animal. Characteristics of an invasive species are that they are non-native. An invasive species isn't invasive in the area that it was already from. It is invasive in a new location that it is not from. They are harmful to the plants that already live there, to the animals that live there, and even to the people that live around them. They're hard to get rid of, and they spread like crazy. They're preventable. If you cleaned your boots before hiking in a new place, you might not have taken that seed there, and it may not have become invasive. They're also easily adaptable. They can change, and they can overcome most things that come at them, and that's why they are so hard to get rid of, and how they can spread so quickly. Well, how does an invasive species become invasive? There are some direct causes, like people. While people can both directly and indirectly cause invasive species, if a person brings an animal or a bug or a plant across the country or from one country to another and leave it there, it could become invasive. Some people do this for benefits. They think it's helping the ecosystem that they're bringing it to. But there are many, many issues with bringing a new animal or a new plant to a new location. Another direct cause of an invasive species is releasing your pets. Exotic pets that are abandoned or released out into the wild can become invasive. More indirect causes of invasive species is buying a plant from a store and you don't know that it's invasive and you plant it in your garden. You need to do research on the plants that you are buying and the plants that you are planting and the plants that you are nurturing in your garden. Most kinds of live bait can actually become invasive in specific bodies of water. If you dump your leftover bait into a body of water, it can very easily pollute that water. Other indirect causes are your vehicles, your boats, campers, trucks, bikes even. If these have loose seeds, plants, bugs, other small organisms, they can be transported on or in most kinds of vehicles. Firewood also has wood-boring bugs, insect or bug eggs, and fungi growing on it, and these can all be invasive species. The impact of an invasive species. Impacts on the plants or the flora. New omnivores or herbivores eating all of a specific kind of plant can harm both that plant and other organisms' dependency on that plant. If a new herbivore comes and eats all of a specific kind of bush, number one, that bush is going to go extinct in that area, but anything that normally eats that bush is going to have to find something else to eat. New plants can choke out the native plants by blocking their sunlight, preventing them from doing photosynthesis, using all of their nutrients by leaching from them or from the soil, or, again, preventing them from doing photosynthesis, and even preventing seeds from spreading. Most new plants can be so dense that they literally just choke out anything that's growing there. New plants can also change soil chemistry, making something too toxic for another plant. New plants can also introduce new pests and diseases. Impacts on fauna. The animals. New predators can greatly impact the food web. Some animals may not become prey when they weren't before. Some animals may not have the food they need because of lack of resources, whether a predator who doesn't have his prey anymore, or something like a rabbit who doesn't have the berries they eat. New diseases can spread from one animal to another. One animal who's never been introduced to this disease before can very easily be killed by new diseases. Habitats are often destroyed because of invasive species. Trees and bushes being completely eaten or uprooted or destroyed can ruin habitats for smaller animals. Impacts on people. In America, over $20 billion go towards invasive species control and management. Invasive species have an impact on both crops and livestock. New bugs, new diseases for crops, these can all harm the food of America. Tourism and recreational outdoor activities are impacted by invasive species as well. If there are no beautiful trees to go look at and hike with, why would you go hike there? It also, anything can affect the overall biodiversity of a location. The overall biodiversity is impacted by any kind of invasive species, a plant, an animal. If it kills all of one kind of bush, that kind of bush is extinct there now, and there are less kinds of plants there now. This lowers biodiversity. Many species of plants and animal that go away for the winter are replaced by invasive species when they come back. Different examples of invasive species in our everyday world. The tree of heaven, I'm not even going to try to say the Latin name, is brought from China and was used as a very large shade tree or focal point of a garden. It was liked so much because it grows very quickly and it didn't have any pests naturally in America. The only problem is that it kills all of the plants around it and spreads very quickly. It puts lots of toxins into the soil and grows extremely densely. It's very hard to get rid of, and it's very hard for other plants to live around it. The kudzu vine. This is personally something that I see everywhere. It was first introduced into America in 1876. It was brought from Japan as a sturdy vine, and it had soil erosion control capabilities, and people liked it, and they planted it everywhere. But the kudzu vine shades every other kind of plant from the sun, preventing photosynthesis, and it's killing the habitats of many animals that depend on them. Feral pigs. Pigs were brought here as a hunting opportunity from misguided hunters. The feral hogs have very easily spread and become extremely feral. They wallow and they destroy trees, they uproot most anything, and they eat a lot of smaller reptiles and amphibians. They eat chicks and eggs, and they are killing the biodiversity of anywhere that they live. They're highly intelligent, and this is a massive problem. Some strategies to combat and to control invasive species. This is the part that you can play. Against specifically the tree of heaven, you can pull the saplings before they get too large. This is before the roots really set in, and maybe they won't spread as much. If you clean your boots between hikes, maybe seeds won't be stuck, and you can prevent spreading them to new locations. Against the kudzu vine, there's not much because it's so everywhere, but persistent weeding when it's young can help. Cutting close to the ground and treating with herbicides in the fall when it's the weakest, that can also help. Feral hogs are tricky because you cannot try to shoot them. This only pushes them into new areas. This is a very bad idea. If they get to new areas, they can adapt to those new areas. They're highly intelligent. They can become nocturnal. They will adapt to you trying to shoot them, and it will not work. There are trapping services available if your land is being harmed by feral hogs. You can have somebody put something up in your property that will help trap them. Other parts you can play about just general invasive species is making sure you know what the plants are that you're buying. Do not accidentally buy an invasive plant and put it in your garden. This will be a very, very bad thing. Cleaning your boat and your camper thoroughly before and after traveling, before moving your boat to a new body of water, before driving your camper across the country, making sure that there's not any secret stowaways is a very good way to prevent invasive species. Cleaning your shoes before and after hiking, like I said, stowaways are very easy to prevent if you just clean everything thoroughly. Not packing firewood super far distances is also a good way to prevent invasive species. Be careful when traveling with animals and plants. You don't want to accidentally lose them or accidentally set them free. Do not release pets or plants or fish or farm animals or any type of animal or any type of plant into the wild if you do not know that it is native there first. It's not a good idea to release any animal or any plant in general, but do your research first. You can also volunteer to help fight against invasive species. And these are my citations. Thank you.